I kind of view him as my generation type of a driver. I truly feel like they are the most consistent car. The only rule that he broke is one of you better win. Those situations where your back is against the wall, you only have one way out, and that is to win, are the best. There's Delaney and Josh sitting over there. And she's like, Welcome to Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, presented by NASCAR on Fox. I'm Kevin Harvick. She's Caitlin Vincey. And the one and only Mama Smith.
Mr. Rogers again today.
I love it. It's actually warmer.
Do you know the theme song?
Do I know the theme song?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
It's something like about Will You Be My Neighbor, right?
Well, yeah, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Can't you be, won't you be my neighbor?
I knew there was something there.
Yeah.
That's
I haven't
nice.
heard
That's
that in a long time. Yeah.
I do like the sweater. It's very fall.
Typically it is.
I don't.
And you don't like style, except your shoes. I will give you credit.
I got some new ones
They're
for
clean.
you.
Those are clean looking.
Yeah. Do you like the black laces?
I do.
Yeah.
I think
Very
the
nice.
offset color laces are always a good option.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll get rid of them in like about.
I think I
3 to
might
4
keep
weeks.
these for a while.
You should keep them for a while.
Yeah.
They're nice. You didn't go to the Ryder Cup, did you? No, you were in
No.
Pensacola.
I went to Pensacola.
How'd that go?
It went okay. I didn't get lapped this year. Yeah.
That's hard.
That's good.
The super late models, I mean, the super late model country down there is hard just
is.
because those guys race there so much.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing all the little nuances, but I was way more comfortable than I was last year as far as knowing where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
So it went better,
Yeah.
than it did last time, but
Yeah,
I don't think I'll go back.
How many?
don't
So
think
not
I'll
the
go
snowball
back, he
derby
says.
is not on your.
No, that snowball derby is way too competitive
Way too
for
hard.
retired life.
Listen,
It feels like a real race. Like I want to go race and have fun.
that's not what that is.
No,
That
it
is.
It's not. It's not for the have fun crowd.
No, it's not fun. Even the pro race isn't fun either. Like that stuff is hard.
Keelan qualified on a pole, and then I think he drew a 6.
We're fourth.
Yeah, he went up 4th, so it was
There you
good for
go.
him. He's going back to run the Snowflake, so
That'll be good for him.
yeah, so that was good. And those guys, Tim Bryant and his whole group does a really good job down there. I mean, they run the snowball derby is not a small event, so they do a great job in running the event, and so we had a good time, and I like racing.
Yeah.
I didn't win, but
That's okay.
That's
You're
okay.
fine.
it was
Sure,
okay.
the fans loved having you there.
Yeah,
You
they had a
drank
good crowd.
Busch Light. Did you drink
Busch Light thing.
Busch Light after?
No,
No,
I didn't drink any Busch Light after.
Have you had any Busch Light?
I haven't. No, but
Yeah.
you never know what the sips are gonna bring.
You never
Yeah.
know. So that was Kevin's weekend. How was your weekend? We were both in Kansas.
Yeah. Driver intros. The fans that were there, they had a great time. They were at high level. They've been drinking all weekend for sure.
Oh, my
They were fun. Nothing crazy. Just a lot of closers were out there though. The
Yeah.
fans that were out there, they stopped me.
Crazy.
I think
the-
it's so cool.
At the late model race, everywhere we go with the late model races, they talk about the show and just talk about, how we're honest and fair and try to just cover the race and just, we're not here to stir stuff up. We're here to cover what happened and we give our opinions and that's what we're here to do is give an opinion. It might be right, might be wrong. You might agree, you might disagree, but that's okay.
That's part of it.
okay, yeah.
A lot of times we disagree.
No.
I
Not so
know.
much you guys, but
I
Yeah,
get
because
along with
you and I.
just-
This is Switzerland.
yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Welcome in to episode 68 here on Happy Hour. We have
Thanks.
plenty to discuss
Plenty.
leaving Kansas Speedway. We will preview the ROVAL Charlotte home race this week. And Mamba, of course, has his sips. But as I mentioned, Kansas, it delivered in a very big way. Let's start with the finish. What did you think of that, guys?
I honestly, the whole race, I thought, I watched the whole race and for me, it was one of the best races of the year.
Here you go.
I wish we could figure out why Kansas puts on the mile-and-a-half race. And to be fair, these cars have put on a pretty good race at a lot of the mile-and-a-half racetracks. But Kansas has just been one of those places that have been phenomenal. But this finish, when you look at the Chase Elliott pass at the end, coming from 10th on the restart, Denny and Bell banging doors right there, and Hamlin fighting his power steering issues and a bad pit stop and being in the mix there at the end and knocking the car that he owns out of the way and all the things that happen as a race fan just makes it fun to watch. It was a great race.
It was a great race. What'd you think?
It checked every box that
It
I
did.
feel like anyone that doesn't come away from this and they're like, man, that was a good race, you really don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Not the way you're looking at, because I'm not going to disrespect anyone like that, but you don't know what you're looking for out of a race. There was drama at the end like we want. There was strategy calls that matter. People coming from the back to the front, like Ryan Blaney making his way up to the front. William Byron was hot garbage
for the first 2 stages.
all the way until the very end of the race.
Yeah, until about 20 laps to go. They all started wrecking, and he didn't wreck, and then got himself in position to capitalize on a decent finish, but
and
didn't score any stage points.
And someone that was not in the playoffs, SVG.
We're going to get to him for
sure. Come on with it, big dog.
Yes, great to see that. Top 10 performance for him on a very difficult racetrack. So we've talked about on this show numerous times about how Chase Elliott and company, their Achilles heel was qualifying. This weekend, that was not the story. They qualified 4th, their best in the last 9 races, got the victory. I know you've already spoken to Chase.
And I told Chase this. I truly feel like they are the most consistent car. They have less trouble than everybody else. Their pit crew, when they're in those positions, shines. He has a really good pit crew. And when you look at the stats, the stats back that pit crew up. And I think that solving that qualifying issue that they have shows you what they can do. They had great short run speed, as he talked about on our interview this week. Fell off a little bit more at the end. I feel like they still have some work to do as far as that piece of the puzzle, but they had the speed to be able to contend in those first 25 laps of a run. So, but when you qualify good, it makes your day go so much better. You get stage points. You put yourself in position to run with the leaders and know what you need to work on with their car, see their lines, see all the things that you need to see racing up front, so you know what your deficiencies are as far as speed or handling or driving or whatever the case is. But when you look at, a lot of times, in my opinion, when you look at the mechanical side, they have less problems when you compare them to somebody like the 11, right? And even the 20 or 45. Those cars seem to have a lot more little detail issues than somebody like the 9. And Chase, I kind of view him as my generation type of a driver. He's going to figure out how to finish the races a lot of times to be able to capitalize on those days when other people are having trouble. He's going to not tear up a lot of cars and keep himself in position to keep the car running, just like William Byron did this weekend. But I feel like that 9 group does that as good as anybody. And I think that's, he and Allen and Hendrick Motorsports and everything that they've done through the years, and that part carries over. So, and he mentioned this in the interview. 10 weeks is a long time. And you can get hot and you can get cold, and you can hit on something and you can miss on something. And if you get hot at the right time, that's when it counts.
The Victory Lap interview with Kevin and Chase is available now. What did you see impressed you out of the 9 group this weekend?
I just like how they go about their business. I just like how that group has been together for a while.
It's true.
Been together for a long time, championship group.
Yeah.
I like the win. The win said a lot, because I don't think Chase has won one like that. Usually when Chase Elliott wins, a lot of times it's going away. You know what I mean? Like, he's been a dominant car and he wins race. Now, the 2 that he have this year, Atlanta, Speedway Racing, but kind of shot out of a cannon, came out of nowhere. And this one, man, Allen from the box was like, I think that 4 tires is going to work out here. It worked out. I think he referenced Martin Truex Jr. pulling off a win there in the past, going to the 4 tires. And the way the cautions laid out and the way that run came, and he went through the top and then got that run down the backstretch and everything that worked out. And he looked excited to be in. I know that sounds weird, but he looked really happy to be in victory lane and talking about it. He's like, man, that was fun. I hope you guys loved it. And I like that. Like, I want you to give us that emotion and that you really love what you're doing and you're in a good spot. And he is. And
the other thing I like, I was going to say the mustache. I told him, I said, you better not shave that thing off.
Yeah, now he
Until
can't.
it goes like shit, you better keep that mustache on there and ride it out. I don't care how long or bushy it gets. You just got to keep growing with it. You've got it now.
Yeah.
Yes. So he was able to capitalize from some misfortunes of others. And I am referring to Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace. What did you see here from this incident coming to the end of the race?
This one's complicated.
Yeah, Kev, what'd you see?
This is complicated.
It's very complicated. And, I think first off, the Toyotas had them beat again. They had the speed. They had everything that they needed to win the race. I'm going to go back to 2007. Okay?
Oh, wow.
right.
Way far
So
back.
I've been in the position that Denny Hamlin is in currently, where you drive for another team and you own cars. And it's really, really difficult because if he doesn't drive in there and try to win the race and do what he did, his team is going to be mad. And when it worked out the way that it did, the only rule that he broke is one of you better win.
Now both teams are
One of you better win. And it took both teams out of contention, and they handed a gimme to Chase Elliott.
Different manufacturer.
They had everything under control. So that's the only thing that's kind of the unwritten rule. If you're going to bang doors with your teammate and you're going to do all those things, you better make sure one of you wins the race. And I know they're not technically teammates, but they might as well be with the way that this all goes. But in 2007, I wrecked 2 of my cars and won the race. My team owner was not happy.
Yeah, what did
with
she
me.
say?
Well, we were racing. We were racing in Pocono in the Cup car. We flew to Montreal, and it was very chaotic finish. Scott Pruitt at the time had run me all over the racetrack, and I'm like, you know what? On this restart, I am dumping your ass. And when I dumped him, it took out Ron Fellows, and he was probably going to win the race with the way that it worked out with Robbie Gordon and Marcus Ambrose at the end.
Right.
But I wound up being the benefactor of it all. So I get to victory lane and I'm like, hey, there's Delana and Josh sitting over there. And yep, they're still sitting over there. I wonder why I'm like, come on.
They don't
and
look
they're
very
like,
happy.
And she's like, flip me the bird. I'm like, whoa, that's not what I expected. I mean, I just won the race.
Yeah, won the race.
And so we get on the plane, nobody will speak to me.
Oh, this is interesting.
I mean, not one word would they speak to me.
And you're really confused, right? At this point?
Well, I
You're
mean, I
starting to
know
figure it
I
out.
wiped everybody out, but I won the race. And I did my job as a driver for the team that I was driving for. And that's the boundaries that are it's hard to separate. But when you're in that car, you have to do everything that you can to win for the car that you're driving. That's the obligation that you have. So, but, I think that in today's world, it's, there's a lot on the line in the playoffs. And in the end, one of them didn't win the race. And, I think that the interesting part to me is when you got to the end of the race, I mean, Bubba was pretty frustrated with Denny and called him a dumbass and referenced, and referenced some things. So I can see it from his side as well, not wanting to get run into. To give up the race. I think if they had raced door to door to the start finish line, it was one thing. But after the race, I mean, you can see the emotion in Denny Hamlin. That's 2 weeks in a row he's got to deal with wrecking his teammate, now taking his own car out of contention, the politics in that. And I don't know what's going on personally with his father, but he made reference of his father afterwards. But there's a lot of pressure on that man. And you could see it in his interview. But the one thing I will say about Denny Hamlin, we asked the question last week, was it the week that was going to derail his championship? And that was not the case. They went out there
on a mission
and kicked ass on a mission.
Yeah.
Like he needed to, but they didn't win.
Yeah, I want to also note too with Bubba Wallace that he commented just to have a shot to be there at the end to win based on where they started the race. They had made so many gains on that car over the course.
He was garbage to start.
And I think that was also pretty defeating for him just to know where they started and ended.
You got a lot on your mind, I can tell.
I do.
I
do.
Yeah,
I think I think it's hard. So let's back up before the last lap. Right before Denny and Bubba, it was Bubba and Christopher, right? Bubba and Seabell. You watch that battle, and it looks about the same. Like to just watching it, you're like, oh, that's the same. It wasn't the same because the lane that was left for the 20 to still make his way was different than the lane that was left for the 23.
Was there a lane left?
There was no lane left
Exactly.
with the 23, and there was one with the 20. So like just off of that, that's a different situation. Those guys never actually door banged. And the 11 and the 23, the 23 and the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 11 and the 23, it was a take all the way up the hill.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm the owner of the 11, I'm like, that's my guy. I'm excited, right? He did everything. And if I'm Chris Gale and that whole group, he did exactly what I want him to do. It might not have worked out for us, but that's fine.
Yeah.
The problem is it's coming off of what happened last week.
Yeah.
And so now we're stacking. We talk about stacking days, stacking weeks. Now we're stacking things that you don't want to stack. Back-to-back weeks where you're getting into it with a teammate. And this one really cost a playoff situation because Bubba, even in his interview, they don't feel like they can really go be dominant speed at the ROVAL. And they did everything they needed to do to put themselves in position to win this one. And you have a teammate who you think is going to be one of the best teammates.
Well, and I think, sorry, Caitlin, but I think in this situation where you stack those weeks, it makes you're definitely confirming that you don't care.
When he said either get on the wagon, get on the bandwagon, get run over by
it's his wagon.
He was 1,000% serious. I thought he was like just being funny. No, he does not care, and I think he's a little pressed right now. To your point, you brought up. He's mentioned his dad a couple of times, and I really hope that
his father
everything is works.
Well, you got the something going on there. You've got the lawsuit going on. You've got everything that happened last week, and now you stack it on. Now you got to deal with it again this week. So,
and the picker's still not back.
No, you're right, and it cost them during this race.
Yeah, I was going to say that next is they had obviously forfeited to have the crew with them last week. Now we are seeing this other B team, if we would call it that.
Just a couple guys. They switched out.
Yeah, just two guys, but still they made a lot of mistakes.
They did, and ultimately it cost them the lead, and that's the fear that you have, right? Is going into a moment like that when you have the lead and you have the track position and you gotta perform. And they had the big flub up on the right side with the jack not going under the car and had to take a couple stabs at it to get the jack underneath the car. And ultimately they lost 4 or 5 positions on pit road, which you lose control of the race and knowing the steering issues that he had with the car, having to navigate that in traffic. As you saw, it wasn't apparently not very easy to navigate in turning as it went up the hill with the 23. So they dealt with last week fine. And, the one thing I will say that I felt like Denny did 100% right was go out there and just, take credit for his wrong with Ty Gibbs last week and stepping over the line and spinning a 54 out and causing things to be what they were last week. And I felt like he directly went after that head on and handled that appropriately to kind of put that to bed. But now you got to deal with it this week. So
now it starts all over.
Yeah.
I did talk to Gabe Hart on pit road right before the race. I'm like, you guys had an exciting week. He's like, it's just part of the business, man. Like he is laser focused in, and I think that helps calm the ship when your leader is locked in and can deal with all the distractions, all the things. It makes everyone else.
But there was nobody that could deal with it other than Denny.
Yeah.
And there was nobody that should have dealt with it other than Denny. And he took that responsibility this week and dealt with it like a leader and the guy that is the senior driver of Joe Gibbs Racing. He took that head on when he got to the racetrack this week. And 9 times out of 10, that makes it go away. Now, if the incident with the 23 doesn't happen at the end of the race, it's gone.
Right.
But now, like you say, it's stacked. So it makes it look like you don't give a shit about who's out there, which that's what Chris Gabehart and Joe Gibbs Racing expect. So I've been there.
How do you guys feel like the group at 2311 feel? How do you
not great.
Yeah, like how do you
That's an odd situation.
Like how would I don't
it's tough to balance. And like I say, I've been there. And it is tough to balance. But I think that when that guy's driving that car, that's the guy you want driving. But politically, with all the other things going on, tough to navigate.
Very tough to navigate. We're talking about 2311, and I want to reference also Tyler Reddick. We're thinking about his son.
Absolutely, yeah, rookie.
I don't think anybody knew about this, and so once I saw that revealed, it kind of made me realize maybe more so of why we've seen the demeanor we've seen out of Tyler as of
possibly.
late.
And a lot of people just want to critique and criticize people for what they do in the race car, and a lot of times they forget that these are families and humans and have to deal with. You've got to deal with the circle of life while in the middle of this intense cycle of events that happen on and off the racetrack, and so it can become extremely difficult to navigate life and perform at a high level. I felt like, they were a little bit off this weekend, made the mistake, got back in the field, and got themselves back up in contention and had a chance at the end. But Tyler drove his butt off. But man, it is tough to navigate everything in life and race at the level that you want to race at. So we hope everything is good with Tyler and his family.
I just echo that.
Absolutely. I definitely feel for them.
Super scary situation, and I think that Tyler's a very upbeat, and so is Alexa. They're very upbeat people. Yeah. And so when she did make that post and that they've been dealing with this for a couple of months, that's super scary. Yeah. And like when you see their demeanor at the racetrack a little bit more, now you're like, I understand 100% why. So.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really difficult to understand what's happening in everybody's life. Some people choose to talk about it. Some people don't choose to talk about it. But I always encourage the circle of life balance, right? And there's some things that you can't control. But the things that you can control, that circle of life has to be completely in sync with everything going on. And when there's a problem, you got to deal with it. Now, these are obviously different and bigger problems that are way more important than anything on the racetrack. But you can definitely. A lot of people don't understand the things that you have to deal with off the racetrack all the time, and they go hand in hand with what happens on the track.
Yeah, for sure.
We're thinking about the Reddick family always. So he had a top 10. So too did William Byron, which they probably got to see that as a win, because earlier in the race, he said, we missed something bad. He was very dejected, very frustrated, took a big swing at it, had a lengthy pit stop. And I got to imagine they're pretty pleased just to have a 9th place effort from where they started.
Well, they kept themselves out of being in trouble going to the ROVAL, right? The finish saved what he needed to do at the ROVAL.
Yep.
And I think when you look at the day that they had, it is so easy to do in this car. You get off or miss it by a little bit. It just, this time of year, it exposes you like no other time of year because it means so much. And I think that, those guys put themselves in a position to go to the ROVAL and scrape up a few points and make it to the next round. But that's that body of work that they put in throughout the whole year that gave them that margin and cushion. But as you get later in these rounds, it becomes a little more difficult to recover from those days. But kudos to those guys, though. And you listen to William Byron's radio, and I thought Rudy did a good job of not getting him more wound up. He's like, all right, just give me all you can.
Yep.
And he let William vent. And in those situations, you got to be able to let the driver vent and say the things that they need to and not take it personally. And they moved on and kept grinding away. And a lot of times, and we've seen this with Bubba Wallace as well this year, a lot of times that'll take a driver out of it. But those guys, you got to be able to reset. And William Byron and Bubba Wallace, both this weekend, were able to reset mentally and focus at the next task, the next restart, the next pit stop, whatever it was. And ultimately, both of those guys had good finishes.
They did not unravel.
No, gotta give the crew, Rudy and the whole team, a lot of credit there, because I was talking to Jesse Saunders, who's car chief for Larson, about, man, when you guys miss it, like, you guys just sling it. And he's like, yeah, like, we get the rep. Like, they work together to get the reps and to work on the cars. Like, when they tear stuff up and they fix them, like, they all kind of, I think Hendrick has a good system and a process as to what they want to do and what they're going to do if they're in a situation to where, like, I'm ready to make this big adjustment that a lot of teams don't do. They either don't do or don't have the time to do it, or don't get those opportunities, because it's not a good thing, right? That you have that opportunity, but they're making the best out of it, and obviously it worked out.
You have to be aggressive.
You got to,
and they take those aggressive swings at it, and this week it paid off for the 24.
If not, they would have ran like 25th.
Well, they were running 25th,
right?
Yeah, they were legitimately a 25th place car for first half of that race.
Someone who was not was SVG. What about our guy with the top 10 there? It's exciting for him.
We keep talking about is oval racing and how much better that it is getting, and the gains that they're making. And I think this was one of those weekends that really showed how much better he has become at racing on the ovals. So, I think that improvement is fun to watch. And we've talked on here a lot just about his maturity level and his knowledge of being able to look through the data and critique himself.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to critique yourself, and you have to be able to take criticism, but you have to be able to learn how to apply it.
Yeah.
And I think
That's
his
important,
racing IQ is high, and I think that, I think he'll continue to get better.
I love watching people gain success and go through the process and keep making those gains, and he's doing it. And Steve, his crew chief Doran, is a friend of both of ours, and he's doing those things too. And they had to start from pit road basically this week, and he got he got tossed. So what they were able to do, and Shane getting comfortable was amazing to watch that run. And Bosey's, someone was trying to throw shade at Shane on social this week, and Bosey put him in the spot. Like, he was in front of all these wrecks. Like, they were trying to be like, oh, he finished 10th because he got through the wrecks. Nah, he was in front of those guys when those wrecks happened. So he did a great job.
Yeah, and I think when you look at that whole, obviously we saw Randall Burnett is going to be Connor Zilich's crew chief. We know that Steve and SVG are together. That's an interesting dynamic when it comes down to the one car now. When you look at where they were, they ran okay this weekend at times, but it's going to be interesting to see where Ross kind of falls in all of this as things cycle into next year. Do they leave his team the same? Do they change his team? What do they do with that one car? Because Ross he's kind of in that weird spot as far as where all that's going to line out. You see all the effort and everything that's going into the Zilich program, and they built the whole program for SVG. But the expectation is for that one car to consistently run in the top five and win and be the anchor of the team. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that whole dynamic works out over there.
As Shane and Connor get more and more comfortable, I would like to think that it would make the one better, because now they're not leaning so much on Ross as Ross and the whole group are leaning on each other. So
good for Randall Burnett, though. You call it. Got the new gig over there. Connor's
well, and it was interesting to see his comments this weekend just about how everybody needed a fresh start when he's talking about himself and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch had another miserable weekend, but I think he's right. I think that Kyle needs a fresh start too, with somebody else to just kind of reset. So I think it's the way that I took Randall's comments, where it was just time for everybody to just start over in a new situation.
Sometimes a change of scenery is good.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
That is true.
And Rodney got a new change of scenery.
He did.
Going over Junior Motorsports. I'm really happy.
The one car
for him to be able to do that. I think that's going to really help. Carson Quapo, I think that the group is good and solid, but I think Carson's going to gain from.
And here's the thing about Carson. I think when you look back at last year, he was in contention a lot. So
every race,
obviously the cars have not been as capable as they need to be this year, compared to the 88 and 8 on the racetrack. And I think that bringing Rodney in and being able to have that solid leadership of experience and all the things to go with what he will bring to the table it's going to make Quapple shine. That kid's good, and he's a good racer. He proved that last year and the year before when he first got into that car. But he's a winner, and I think that's going to show up next year.
Let these kids develop. They need more time on track. He's only had but a handful of starts realistically. So
well, you see how easy it is to screw up a car.
Yeah.
Look at William Byron's car this weekend, right? We take him as a top 5 guy. It only doesn't take much. Doesn't take much for it to be off. And so I'm happy for Junior Motorsports and Rodney to be able to put that all together to get him going.
You know what the interesting thing about that whole thing is going to be too is with Haas moving to Chevrolet, now the Chevy camp is huge. And so they're adding 2 more Xfinity cars with Creed and with Sam Mayer. And so that'll be interesting how that whole, and then Hendrick still has theirs.
Well, I think a lot of it is going to get more interesting as we get to this point in next year as to what happens with Dodge. Obviously, Colleague is involved in the truck team, but they have 2 teams currently.
2 Xfinity
Cup
teams?
cars.
2 Cup cars.
2 Cup cars. And so it could just kind of be might be some room opening up. I don't know how the politics of all that Chevy support will work for their Cup program next year, but I don't know what that means. But when you add 2 Chevys and there's 2 sitting over there that appear to be headed towards Dodge, what does that mean for the number of cars that are actually in the system?
That and the three Xfinity cars that they run currently.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving and
moving.
it's gonna be interesting
Moving
when
and
they
shaking.
get to the end of the season.
It is.
Good for Rodney Childers, though. We're happy to see him have a landing spot. Speaking of movement, Jusan Hamilton no longer serving as race director. That was announced over the weekend in the Cup Series. What do you make of that change?
Well, I think the timing of it's interesting. I don't know all the details of why or what happened or how it all went down, but I think that when you look at everything that's going on in NASCAR right now, Chip Weil, we saw he's been at NASCAR for a long time, executive on the NASCAR side, ran Daytona, Darlington, been in the sport for a long time, from the bottom of the top. He was PR guy at Bill Davis Racing.
Yep.
For a long time. So to me, I think it's showing that those probably aren't the last changes. And I think as you look at that, I think NASCAR needs to be pretty aggressive in how they realign themselves as to whatever their plan is. But it needs to be pretty aggressive as far as whether it's calling the races or changing the rules with the car, personnel, people. It appears to be time for a reboot from the bottom to the top.
Yeah,
It does feel like that's taking place.
yeah. You never want to wish ill will anyone to lose their job or see someone lose a job. They got a family and everyone they got to take care of, and both the situation are different between Jusan and Chip, and they're both great people.
Yeah, totally different,
completely different.
yeah,
completely different. 2 different situations. Yeah. But to that point, there's holes that need to be filled, and hopefully that they're filled with the people that need to be there for the longevity, and that we are headed in a direction. I hate when it feels like we're bouncing around. Even if we have to reset a standard, just make it and just keep going on that path, because then it becomes a standard.
And I feel like the officiating, I mean, we've talked about the officiating on here several times. It hasn't been
stellar.
It hasn't been stellar. And, I think that, the biggest thing is it's been consistently inconsistent. So, as a competitor in a sport, you want things to be as consistent as possible when certain situations rise up. So, I think overall picture, I don't think the officiating has been spectacular to say the least.
Yeah.
A lot of movement, a lot of things going on. Very newsy week leading up to the Charlotte ROVAL. As I mentioned, we have a home race this weekend, a very unique racetrack that we've seen in action for several years now. Marcus Smith took a big swing creating this track several years ago. It's produced some great racing.
It has. And it's a really unique place to get around, and for whatever reason, it was always pretty good for me as far as the road courses went. Chase Elliott mentioned it on his interview earlier, though. You've got a couple choices this weekend, and typically it's worked out for SVG because he gets so far ahead he can make a pit stop.
It doesn't matter,
and he can come back out and still get stage points. But you have to decide when you're going in: are you going to stage race? Or are you going to race for the win? And that's always the interesting part about the ROVAL. When do you take the points? What's that cutoff? I feel like right now it's kind of Ross Chastain versus Joey Logano with that 13-point gap that you have in the points right there for that last position. I feel like Logano's team has the ability to grind it out. They ground it out last weekend at Kansas. They made a great 2-tire call, got themselves back up in the front of the field after having the practice issues, but not a spectacular car. They did it because they made good calls, and Joey does a great job on the restarts and ground it out. So I think that from that standpoint, it's those guys have the ability to grind it out. I think they're going to be on the side of trying to grab those points.
As they should
in those first couple stages, which at this time of year, everybody's got a different agenda. And for the guys that need the points, it opens that ability up to have a 15th to 20th place car and be able to grab some points.
Yep.
So I feel like they've got control of it in order to grab those points, but I don't feel like they're going to be capable of winning the race.
Okay.
I think they're not afraid to apply pressure. They're not afraid to do what they have to do. And I think he'll be decent. I think he'll get a lot of help from his teammates this week. They'll be in the sim working on setup and making sure that one car. I mean, he basically has 3 road racing teammates in there with Suarez, Connor, and SVG. Like, they're going to do everything that they can to make sure that this one car is going to be capable. And then you look at, 2311. Austin Cindric's a capable road course racer.
It's true.
2311, what are they going to do? They have to win.
Reddick can do that.
Reddick has won on road courses before.
Yeah.
Bubba's road course program has gotten better. But the ROVAL, man, is just
you just never know what's going to happen.
Beast. And usually, Kevin, every time we come here, there's a couple mechanical failures of playoff drivers, and then there's a couple wrecks. And it just depends on what end of that you're in.
Well, you've got monstrous curbs. You've got those tight chicanes. You've got every opportunity to run somebody over.
Every opportunity.
Yeah, like coming up, I think it's 7 or 8 that comes up onto the racetrack right there into turn 1 on the ROVAL. I mean, there's dive bomb city.
Dive bombs.
It is.
So you got the back straightaway curbs that you have to use the big curbs in order to get the car to turn and put the car in the right spot on the racetrack. So it's tough on the cars. It's tough on your back. Just because of physically it's a tough racetrack to grind out, but there's no runoff really. I mean, you got a couple of corners that you have runoffs, but the opportunity to make a mistake at the ROVALs is there, and it's easy to do.
A reminder of the drivers currently below the line: Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Austin Cindric. You've kind of talked a bit about Chastain, but do you believe anyone below the line will make it above, or is this the group?
I think it all depends on how the 22 car shows up, right? Okay. I just, if he's, I feel like that the 1 car could be better than the 22 car.
Yeah. Between those 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think that, you get into this weird strategy, but I think Tyler Reddick can possibly win. Austin Cindric has been okay at that place. And, he finished decent there last year. So I don't think you can completely throw him out of the mix as pulling off an upset in the situation. I think for him, his strategy is easy. Yeah. Well, I think all those guys have an easy strategy. Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick,
and Bubba.
I think it depends on where Bubba qualifies. I think Chastain, they got to take the points, but really you just want to just try to outdo the 22.
There's one big problem though.
What's that?
You got to beat SVG.
You got it.
Because everyone's probably sitting in the back of their mind being like, something bad has to happen to that team or no one else is going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. And it's like we say, it's just what his pace is and what the pace advantage is. This just isn't the typical road course, but I feel like a lot of times we get to places where SVG has that advantage in those slow speed rhythm sections and being able to navigate the curbs and put his car where it needs to be. And we've never really seen him in a good car at the ROVAL.
Yep.
And being able to beat him is going to be hard. So like you say, though, those points, I don't know. It's a tough strategy to navigate trying to bank on the win when you have somebody that is that dominant.
I think if you're in a situation where you have to win, if you get close to the 88, you got to try and use him up and get him back in traffic and have to get him to come back through. Like if you just race him completely normal, he's going to check out. I think he's just going to check out. Like if you have to win, you have to keep it muddy for him. Like you got to keep him in a little bit of turmoil because he just is able to control these races so easy. And there's no one really there. Even AJ hasn't been able to be there to apply enough pressure.
No. And now that SVG's been in the car, he knows what he wants. He knows the feel and things that he's looking for. I think compared to what he drove last year is much different. It's night and day. So are we going to make our picks fun? Are we going to say...
I already wrote mine down.
No SVG picks?
No, I wrote him. I'm picking him this time because you used to make fun of me for not.
Oh, okay.
I think that we should. I think that you should... I won't pick him if you don't pick him.
I'm not going to pick him.
Okay, good.
God, what if it comes down to SVG versus Ross at the end?
Well, I know what I know what I would do if I was Denny Hamlin. I don't know what I'll do if I'm SVG.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, wouldn't that be interesting?
It would be highly entertaining, to say the least.
Don't put it out. I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can.
We've seen it.
This is
We've
true.
seen it happen before.
It's a cool track. We look forward to having a home race and being here in Charlotte, not have to go anywhere.
Yeah, the truck
Trucks
race.
are back.
I'm calling the
Kevin
truck
and I
race.
are doing that race.
You're on the truck
together.
race?
You guys
Yeah.
are- so
You
the
going to do anything Friday? Or you just going to hang
I
out?
might come hang out and
Yeah.
watch you do the job from the booth.
Okay.
Yeah. The
You
truck
should.
race, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
We get to be in the booth this weekend.
Yeah, the truck race, that's fun. The truck race is interesting to me because they have not seen it
Oh,
at
yeah.
all.
Yes.
Like that could be a
That could be
complete
very
shit show or it
interesting.
could be an amazing, it's going to be amazing either way, but it could be a lot.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a crash course of learning what to do pretty quickly in practice
practice.
with not being there before because it is a very technical racetrack. So
We
I've
look
never
forward
seen
to
anything
it.
like that, I don't think.
Yeah.
no.
Road
No.
America, maybe?
Yeah, it's
And
not like
Lime
that.
Rock was very simple compared to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
So-
could be.
Yeah.
lot.
Interesting. Make sure you watch Friday on FS1. We'll all be there. Okay, it's time. I know you've been some sipping
Oh,
throughout the show.
yeah,
but
I've been
now you
sipping
get to
throughout the show.
officially sip.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, from all over the world, it's your favorite segment, Mamba's Social
globe.
Sips. And Kevin, the folks from Kansas wanted me to let you know that they want a night race there again. It's not
A night race.
That's what they said. They just told me that they wanted me to tell you.
Okay.
So-
Well, as long as it's not on Saturday night, it's fine.
Yeah, there you go. It could
I
be a
don't think
Sunday
they care
night
that
race.
much. I think they just want a night race.
Okay.
I promised I would do it. So, all right. Starting right off the top, we're going dirt racing. At Sharon Speedway, Ryan Blaney's family has a long history at this racetrack, and old
Nice.
man Dale Blaney, Ryan's uncle, got it done. The cool thing about this is, one, he's driving the 10, which is like their family number.
Yeah.
But this car was built by Dave.
That's cool.
So Dave builds one-off cars that are tries to make stuff work that no one else does. And he parked it in Victory Lane. I thought that was super cool.
One for the old guys.
Yeah, that was a World of Outlaw race. Dale's 61, I think.
No
and
way.
he's-
I didn't know he was that old.
Yeah, he's the
Wow.
bus driver for AJ Allmendinger. He also was drafted by the Lakers.
Really?
What?
He's a former Laker.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Sharon Speedway.
Yep.
One and only dirt win that I had in my career.
Oh, hey, there
Yeah.
you go.
Dirt modified.
Yeah. Did
That's
you
right.
did
Nice.
you win it,
I got-
pulling away or?
I don't know, but I beat Stewart and
Oh,
Oh.
well, that's worth
several
it.
others. Ken Schrader.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
So
a
it was
big
like
win.
my
That is
one
a
and
big
only
win.
shining dirt moment.
If you're gonna win one
I
on
won a
dirt,
heat race
Tony
one time in
Stewart.
Bakersfield.
On dirt?
And, yeah.
in a modified,
In a
too?
modified, yeah.
I didn't think that you ran that much dirt stuff at all.
Well, one summer I decided to go with Kenny Wallace and Ken
Uh-oh.
Schrader,
Nice.
dirt racing. We had fun. I enjoyed driving that little IMCA car actually, and,
That's cool.
and we had a good time. Missed a couple races, won a race, and funny story.
oh, here we go.
So we went to I can't remember the name of the little dirt track, but it was this little quarter-mile place. It was first time that I'd gone with him, and so Schrader's like, "Hey, just follow me out on the track." He's like, "Just stay real close to me. We're gonna go pack the track for a few laps, but just make sure you stay right with me. I'll show you where you need to be." I'm like, I'm nervous as hell. And the smallest track I've ever been to in my life. And so I go out on the racetrack, we run 4 or 5 laps, packing the track, and he hits the freaking throttle. And I swear to you, I had that much mud on the front. And he thought that was the funniest thing that he had ever heard. He set me up so bad, and I'm trying to pull tear-offs, and I can't see where I'm going. I pull all the tear-offs off. And the next thing I know, practice is over. It lasted 3 laps.
Yep.
And I had no tear-offs left. And I had more mud on my helmet than at any point that I ever had in my whole dirt racing career.
That's
And
funny.
Schrader thought that. I mean, he set me up so bad.
I love that.
Yeah.
You needed that. That was good for you.
You should have Kenny on. Kenny Wallace, you mentioned him. He should be
Yeah,
a guest on
he'd
your
be
show.
fun.
He would
Schrader
be
would be fun, too.
And
They
so
both
would
would be
they.
fun.
Yeah.
Big race. Kevin, you were in Pensacola, obviously.
Yep.
With the late model stocks. They're racing at Martinsville for the Valley Star 300. I want to run that race so bad. The scheduling is really tough because it's always Kansas weekend. Landon Pembleton won the race, and he beat Lee Pulliam to the line, which is amazing. But that's not what I'm talking about, unfortunately. I'm talking about Tristan McKee turning Sam Yarborough on the front stretch. Okay, I'm bringing this up because I feel like we have a little bit of a
Pattern?
situation that's starting to occur in stock car racing with people taking liberties and doing things that are way beyond, and then just coming up and doing their interview and being like, I didn't mean to do it. I don't like that. Like how do we fix that, Unc?
Yeah, well, I think with this situation, I think we saw the same type of situation with this particular driver at Hickory. Kind of did the same thing, caused that big wreck there, and I think that Keelan had a little contact with Matt Craig this weekend, and in the pro late model race, and the best thing that happened after that race is Matt Craig came over and talked to Keelan, and I feel like it's sometimes some people are more approachable than others. And I told Matt when we got done, I said, hey, anytime that he does something wrong, please come speak to him because he's not going to listen to me.
Right.
Last thing you want to do is listen to your parents or, the people that are encouraging it. So I was always taught by the competitors that I raced with because they would come over and yell and scream at me, and then they would expect for you to learn from that moment. And, I think that when you look at, these types of situations, I think that especially the veteran guys, they just want to see progression of whoever the individual is in that particular situation and have it get better. So that to me is the way that we try to approach it with Keelan is I want the competitors to come over and yell at him when he needs to be yelled at. And we're also going to rip his ass for tearing somebody's $150,000 car up. Whether it's a mistake or on purpose, you got to teach those moments to be able to teach them how to do it right because they're going to screw up.
Yep.
But if you let them think that it's okay, you just need to move on, then it doesn't ever get fixed. So, tough deal.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times the vets, they respect the people that put those cars together, so they're not just going to junk you back.
Yeah.
Like they want to and they're mad, but they respect the craft.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
and that was one reason when we started Keelan in the late model stock, we wanted to go to Florence. And it was for these types of situations. And the people that he got to race against at Florence, a lot of veteran guys. And you go to a lot of these racetracks like South Boston, some of these places have a core group of veteran guys. And you want them to learn from those mistakes because a lot of times, I know some of those guys. Like when we go race South Boston next year, and you'll see Peyton Sellers and some of those guys I know, and so I want him to be able to race with those guys. Hopefully you can keep up with them, but you want him to make the mistakes against guys like that because they're going to teach them. And I feel like in this situation, with the guy that McKee was racing, I think that those are the types of guys that you want the kids to learn from because they're gonna be respectful until they feel like they can't fix it.
Yeah, for sure. So this gentleman,
we like him.
We got a mailbag question, and
Big
he
fan.
probably asked some of the best questions because I think we've used this question like 3 times. Irfan Mohammed, I think I got your name right. I hope I did, brother. He actually DM'd me. We had talked about point system stuff over the weekend too. He goes, Kevin, you've had a few clutch wins when you were facing elimination. What are some changes in preparation between regular races compared to must-win races? Unc.
Those situations where your back is against the wall and you have not one way out, you only have one way out, and that is to win, are the best. Because those moments bring out, in a good team, with a group of people that believe in each other, bring out the best in every single phase of that car. And every single phase of calling the race and everything that the driver has, you become hyper-focused like nothing other. And once you are able to achieve one of those moments, you want to do it again and again because it is addicting to be able to have those moments and kind of prove the world wrong. But it's so gratifying. And when everybody has that hyper-focus of everything that they need to do and that car goes into the trailer loaded like it is with everything you've got. But that's the guys that are good in the playoffs. That's what you race against every week. And that's why you see all those guys stacked at the top of the board and have learned, the Chad Knaus and Jimmy Johnson way. Every week, all the details have to be covered. And when it's time to find more, you figure out where they're at and how to do it. And you can achieve things that are just special. And we did it a couple times and it was pretty cool.
When we at SHR as a crew member, when we were there making these runs and doing it, the air in the building is different. It's crisp. Everyone's locked in. Like attention to detail is higher. Everyone wants it really, really bad.
Yeah, we think
really
this
bad.
mirror might be worth 1 count. All right,
Yeah,
put that on.
put it on.
We think this exhaust might make a half a horsepower. All right, put that on. And it's just every department comes together and puts everything that they have into those do or die moments. And it is so awesome.
Tyler, our producer, wants to know if there's a win that stands out to you that was one of those moments.
There was a couple of them. I think that the first year, being able to win at Charlotte when we had our backs against the wall. We did it at Kansas one year, Dover one year.
Okay.
So those playoff moments where you had no way out other than to win, those are the moments that were pretty cool. I think that probably the biggest moment for us, though, was the Phoenix win of the championship year, knowing that you went to Phoenix. And that just adds another layer to it because you're going to your best track. And the team knows that. So you have all those stars that are aligned with knowing that you're going to have the best car that you've ever had, the most detail that you've ever had into a race car, and you're hyper-focused on a track that every crack in it. And that one ultimately led to a championship.
Yeah.
Caitlin, when I tell you the shop, no one had any doubt we were winning that race. We all felt like we just had to get to that round. We got to that round, we were going to make it to Homestead because we were winning Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that was a thought when the year started, that we were winning Phoenix and we were going to go to the championship. We had no doubt. And so it was really everyone did their job and it was like, okay, pit crew, lock in.
Yeah.
Just get this car off pit road and we'll be just fine.
That's
and
right.
Did, and everyone did
That's
their
why
job.
we love sports. Yay, sports.
Yay, sports. And high drama situations. That, everybody, is Mamba's Social Sips.
Nice sips
Thank you
today.
so much. 805-317-4175 if you want to leave a voicemail. And HarvickHappyHour4@gmail.com.
I got
There
a
you
question
go.
for you.
Uh-oh.
Should an NFL football game ever end in a tie?
Okay.
Mm.
I think absolutely not.
You have an
No,
opinion.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because someone yelled at me this morning that our races should end at their destination. If it's 400 miles, no green, white checker. And I'm like,
What?
that to me is crazy. Like, we don't come up that way.
No.
Like, we don't
No.
in the dirt tracks and the local short tracks.
That would suck. if we
There's
did.
no flag that ends it.
Listen
but the
here,
checker.
youngsters, it used to be that way.
What?
That when you got to 400 miles, it was over.
Oh yeah, on the national series.
Everywhere.
On the short tracks?
I mean, 50-50.
Really?
When I started coming up.
Oh, I never saw that.
But, I mean, most of the short tracks had a finish.
Yeah, okay. So to answer your question, no, they shouldn't tie.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do.
It's dumb. They should play till someone wins.
Someone wins,
We have
That's the thing that I hate the most about soccer.
They have a lot of ties.
They have a lot of ties. There should never be a tie in sports.
Mm-mm.
Like we should
I
play
feel like
until
that
everybody
defeats the
falls over.
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang
It's
it.
a tie.
What?
You know what I just thought about?
Oh, scary.
Because I know it's coming up next. My crown is still over there.
Oh, we'll
Yeah.
get.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
Next
buddy.
week.
All right,
the way it
he
goes.
brought me to it. Last call.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario, new customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. NASCAR is not responsible for this promotion and used under license.
Kevin, before we get into our picks for this week, let's take a look at the best bet of the weekend, courtesy of DraftKings.
Well, it was Chase Elliott plus 1,200.
All right.
That's pretty
No,
hefty.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hefty number to put on Chase Elliott.
But I wouldn't expect him to win Kansas either. So I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could have made some money.
should have.
Could have made
Shoulda,
some
coulda,
money.
woulda.
I have a buddy, his name is Chase Hatchett. He's
Yeah.
a big Chase Elliott fan. And
Yeah.
I know he put money on it. And he said he was yelling at the top of his lungs at the bar on Saturday, Sunday
Old
night.
Chase Hatchett.
It makes
Chase
it more fun. But take the checker flag with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Harvick. That's code Harvick for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and win your first bet. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours, but apparently
It's
not
imaginary.
Mamba's. Yes.
So close.
Well, to go to
We'll
Burger
remember
King
to bring
again.
that over.
No, I
for the
have
next
another
show.
one, a better one.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
You already got a new one.
No, yeah, because when I went to the FC game and they won their 9th game in a row last week,
Oh, you got one?
I got one there.
Really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
sat in the
bring
chair.
that thing
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
Did you sit in the chair?
No, I'm not that cool yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you
remember
rent
when
those chains or did you buy them?
These chains?
Yeah.
No, I bought.
You
My
rent
mom
those
bought me this
chains?
one.
Okay.
Oh, you know,
Yeah,
I
but what
bought
about
this
the other
one.
ones?
No, I bought this one.
Are they real?
It came with a bracelet.
You don't
I
wear
mean,
rented jewelry, right?
no, I would. I
You
wear.
would.
Is it
jewelry.
real though?
I don't know. It's
or
from
do you buy it
Jackson.
on Amazon?
No, it's from Jackson. I don't
Oh,
know if
okay.
that makes it
Bracelet's
real or
very
not.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. What kind of rings you got on there?
This is like a wolf. It looks like my dog, so I got that.
He
And then
always
this is
wears
a
a
snake
snake.
biting its own tail.
Mhm.
So weird.
Why?
I don't know. Rings are just not comfortable.
I'm being
Okay.
told to move on to the burnout.
Okay.
All right, let's grade Chase Elliott's burnout.
That's completely his fault.
What did you think of this one, huh, Kevin?
Didn't really see it.
Yeah.
That's what I was
I'm just seeing it for the
thinking.
first time here, so maybe it was in the highlight reels going off the air.
It was in the rollout.
Yeah, I think it was average. I mean, not in the top 5.
Nothing will ever top his Roval one.
Yeah,
His Rover one?
when the car rolled.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
He stood
standing
on top.
Yeah, that,
That
was
was
pretty cool.
amazing.
That's what we need, though.
That's,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did like the 720 down the front stretch, so it's kind of cool, but like
Meh.
Yeah.
we just didn't see it, to be honest.
But you have a cool mustache, so we'll give you a little.
yeah, you get points for
I
mustache.
told him you better ride that mustache out. Grow that thing.
I hope you said that.
No, you did not.
Does he?
You told me not to
truly
ride it
knows
out.
The ride
That's
part.
amazing. I love that you told him
Freaking
that.
hilarious.
Ugh.
It's getting hot in here all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh, that is
Wait, am I missing
hysterical.
something?
No.
Is that
We'll
some
tell
sort
you
of
later.
some sort of slang or something that I'm
No.
missing?
No, you should watch Super Troopers.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you should watch that.
Is that a movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Kevin is still the leader in the clubhouse. No surprise there. In the standings at a cool 36, Mamba 27, myself 17. But everybody did gain points. You know what? That's what I think is most important. At least we were picking people who are getting us points.
Caitlin just likes to be like, well, we all had fun. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't have
Everybody
fun.
gets a participation
Right.
trophy.
No, I'm not saying that. But I
Caitlin
got the
did have
most points
Yeah,
of
the
any of
most
us
points.
this week.
I
but-
will say
Everybody
that
gets a trophy.
I need to thank Rudy and them boys for really grinding it out on
Yeah,
the
no
24 deal
kidding.
because that was going to hurt my.
It kept you in the game.
Yeah,
That
it kept
was
me
always-
in for sure.
Yes.
Good job out of them.
I'm one win away from jumping Kevin, and it might be this week.
No, you're not.
So 10.29% of fans picked Chase Elliott this week.
Hmm.
There
Well,
you go.
well.
And reminder to the fans to get in on the action. So you can scan the QR code to be a part of this and submit your picks. We would love for you to play along with us.
Yeah, it's fun.
We
It
need a
is fun.
prize.
We still do need a prize.
I brought
yes.
those shoes in. They're in the
Yeah.
dressing room. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I
Sign
feel
those.
like more people would play if we gave them something.
Well, we
Yeah.
can sign those. They're here. They're ready to
Yeah.
be signed.
Keep playing. Link to submit your picks is also in the podcast description. So make sure you do that. You got a special guest with you this
You know, we have
Thursday?
so much going on in our sport. We thought it'd be a good idea to bring Bob Pockris in to just
I
do
love it.
some one-on-one debate. You know, he doesn't agree with my no Saturday night races.
No, he does
so
not.
Yeah.
we can just start there.
Yeah.
And have some fun with it. And just we got a lot of topics that we need to talk about, and I need Bob's opinion because mine can be skewed at times.
Yeah,
So the dumbass award passed from Denny to me.
I know,
because
'cause
I
we-
did the pick
we-
segment and didn't do the
we
picks.
didn't pick. I was like, I guess
So,
we're not picking today.
Kevin, you can start us off. What do you say?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You
I already
don't know?
told you guys who I'm.
Who you picking?
Oh, who you picking? Go ahead.
SVG.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I haven't yet.
So we can't pick the same as her, or we can.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure since I'm picking him, somehow he fluke won't win.
Yeah,
That
probably.
would be my luck.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure who to pick.
You do.
Do you
You weren't.
know?
No. It's still on him. He wasn't
Okay.
sure last week too.
Yeah.
You're doing this whole thing where you're getting not as confident as you used to be.
I'm going to take Bell.
Okay.
See Bell.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Okay.
a good pick.
Okay.
He's been solid at the Roval.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna go with his teammate
Bristol.
Chase Briscoe
I thought you were going to say Denny Hamlin.
on a road course. That'd be hilarious. I really thought Ty Gibbs for a split second, but I think Briscoe's got it.
There you go.
Well, those cars have definitely been dominant.
Yeah, they're
And
fast.
and I think this is definitely a racetrack where you're going to have some grip. I think the sleeper in this whole thing is Chase Elliott.
Mm.
And the reason I say that is he's racing the same way SVG is this weekend.
Okay.
Not racing for points.
You know what?
Yeah. No,
No.
pressure.
You know what?
No.
You know what?
Oh my goodness.
I'm going SVG. I'm
No.
going SVG.
No.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm
so
doing it.
Let me cross that out. All
Yeah,
right,
cross it
going
out.
as two.
Is that fair?
The show's still going.
You
so
changed your pick?
We haven't even changed the segment yet. So yeah, I changed it.
Oh man, this is a make or break moment.
In the
This
back of
is
my
a make
mind,
or
all I hear
break
is
moment.
Kevin from all season long. I can't believe he
You
didn't pick him.
us?
I can't believe he
know.
didn't pick him.
That's why I wrote it down first thing on when I printed this.
Here's the thing though, those Toyotas have been so much faster
I know.
than the other cars lately. And that just, to me, I don't know. I just think this is a place where you need a lot of rear drive.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
2 votes of confidence for SVG and 1 for
SVG.
driver 20. Okay, we'll have to see how those picks fare after the weekend. It's been fun, guys, here on episode 68. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Leave a review, send a mailbag question. We'll see everybody after the ROVAL.